we spoke a little bit about why writing might be important and what can be helpful to write about. And now the question is how. I might repeat a few things that I already said, but maybe you haven't listened to the previous 2 installments yet. So here it would be. So there is only one rule in journaling, and this is always put the date where you write. Because if, for example, you write on separate sheets of paper, they fall on the floor at some point, you collect them and you don't know heads from tails, you don't know where you began, you don't know when something happened. Or if you have lots and lots of notebooks, like dozens of them, and if they're not dated, if you come to reread them, you're lost. So it should be just a habit. When you open a notebook, put the date, and then write whatever you want. So we already spoke a little bit about the difference between writing and typing. That writing gives you a more embodied experience, more immediate experience, and more personal result because you see your own handwriting, and you can also see how the handwriting changes depending on what you're writing about, when. For example, I don't have a fixed handwriting for all the topics. It also depends a lot on the pen. But I know that when I'm in a good space, I have a very particular handwriting. And so I can kind of calibrate myself when I see what I have written and I see how I have written it. Am I getting closer to the good space, or am I getting away from the good space? What does my handwriting tell me about the state I'm in? This is we cannot do with typing. And also I haven't told about dictating, because sometimes we cannot. Neither type nor write. Will therapeutic writing be helpful for us? If, for example, like my mother, she has recently broken her right arm. She cannot write or type. Some people have arthritis, some people have other problems. Is therapeutic writing beneficial for them if they cannot write? The answer is yes, because we have so many devices now that can record our speech. As I said earlier, that to make therapeutic writing work, it should have 2 pieces, 2 parts, expressive part and reflective part. What does it mean? First you express what your inner process, and then you reread or listen to the recording and express your position, your opinion in regard to what you have just written or spoken aloud. Where did this bring you? How did you feel in your body when you were writing or talking? What has changed? What stands out for you in the piece that you have just completed? Do you have any, do you take something out of it? Do you feel that something was missing? We can see the expressive part as transport, we have jumped on a cart or in a car, and it has taken us somewhere and we have climbed out. So writing is this vehicle, and we can ask ourselves, okay, where did I come in and where did I get out? What has changed? Where do I find myself now? And this is the reflective response that we are giving. So even if we are not writing and we listen to what we have recorded, we can respond to that and also record ourselves. So thinking about what I have just said, I can say such things. Because this is sometimes more inner work happens in the reflective response than in the expressive part. And the reflective response is something that is usually missing from the natural way of keeping a journal. Because sometimes we just don't leave ourselves space in the journal, because sometimes the reflective response comes much later. So we have the feelings and the thoughts and we dump them, and then we didn't leave ourselves space for a reflective response that comes later. And we just dumped something else later there. Question, so what to do? keeping in mind that reflective response is necessary, we can, for example, write our expressive part only on the right side, or on the left side if we're left-handed, and leave the opposite side of the page free for the reflective response later. We can write the reflexive response, we can leave some space under the writing and write with a different colored pen. If we use typing and files, of course it's much easier. You can put the reflective response anywhere. We just say reflective response to that and type. It can be short, it can be a few lines, 10 lines, but if you had 5 minutes to write expressively, take about the same time or maybe a little bit less to write a reflection. And this will make the whole writing that you did much more effective at once. And the reflective response can be also used for everything. Because, for example, if you like to scroll social media feed, and if you can spend half an hour doing that, you can spend 5 minutes writing a reflective response of, okay, and what did it give you? Where did this transport you? What have you learned? What are you taking out from this? For example, you can remember like, there was a person who was looking for a helper, and yesterday I saw someone offering these services. Maybe I can connect them. Or I'm looking and looking and looking at the updates from the same people, but it feels like somebody is missing from my feed. Somebody who usually wrote a lot before, and now he or she is not writing. Maybe I should write to this person, maybe something happened to them. Just take a little pause to reflect. You can take these pauses several times a day, just to check in with yourself. What is happening? I have been working and working and working on this project for 5 hours. So, did I advance? Am I stalling? What is bothering me? What makes me procrastinate? Did I have any insights? This is really good to write down, just to take a little stop and write.